Okay, so it is time to get the Beaumont going. It's April 19th, I believe, somewhere around there. And yes, it was 18th yesterday, so it's got to be 19th today. And now it's time. So this is the Beaumont. It's 1965 Sport Delux. I have owned this car for 30 years. And it has gone through several iterations. Original one I got when I bought this thing was a teal blue or teal green, whatever way you want to go with that. And then 5-6 years ago, when I was running a body shop, we painted this. We did use this car as a project and painted it this color here, which is a heavy metallic green. It all started with the steering wheel. I had this steering wheel, bought it, because I originally thought the teal was actually green, not blue. But I went to put it in the car and somebody said, "Why do you have a green steering wheel in a blue car?" I was kind of, well, all right, that threw me for a loop. So I gave that steering wheel to my paint supplier. He mixed the paint up and got it pretty darn close. In the sunlight, it's pretty. You can see the gleam there. You can see the sparkle. So it's got a lot of metallic in there. 5-speed custom seats, covers on the front. Those are kind of stock Chevelle seats. On the rear, the Beaumont has a interior. If you look at the dash, it is a same dash as a GTO or a Tempest. So basically it's a like a GTO interior, and then the interior is very similar to a GTO, except instead of having a Beaumont insignia, GTO would have a Pontiac insignia. And a seat cover kit for a GTO is about twice as much as it is for a Chevelle. So I bought a Chevelle kit and then I had those seats done to match the paint. Once again here, you can see I took that to a upholstery guy in town and he had that stuff in stock and made them up for me. So this engine is a 406 small block, AFR 195 competition heads, competition ported CNC competition ported heads. It's got a Lunati, I believe it's a 292 advertised Voodoo hydraulic roller cam, which gives a at 50 243 intake, and I think it's 251 or 253 exhaust. They don't actually list this cam anymore for some reason, but it's a really nice cam, works good. The engine was dynoed with a Vic Junior intake and a 750 Holley carb, dynoed at 540 horsepower. So I've never dynoed it with the tunnel ram. All my cars have either tunnel rams or dual quads for some reason. I like them. So first thing to do with this car is I'm going to change the spark plugs out on it. Now I've already got the front wheel off on the driver's side, and the one thing you'll notice, I don't have any fender wells in here. I take them out, and the one benefit of that is you got real nice easy access to the spark plugs, and it's pretty easy to get at them. Easier access than what you'll get from your wife on a Friday night after a case of beer. So I'm going to change those out, and then it's just a matter of hooking the battery up and hitting that start switch. That's about it. Well, yeah, it's got a 5-speed TKO 600 face-plated Liberty transmission in Detroit or out that way. See, I got disc brakes on the front, drums on the rears, got skinnies. Those are the front tires. So yeah, we'll get the plugs. I got the plugs over here. I just got two because of aluminum heads. I'm just going to put some anti-seize on the threads there, and then we'll start putting them in. So stay tuned. All right, I've got the there we are. Got the plugs down on this side here, so I'm going to put the wheel on, and then we're going to move on to the other side. Well, you can see, but I always put a little bit of anti-seize on the studs here, just to protect the threads. You know how you pull them out. It's never fun. So the plugs looked okay. Nothing was anything untoward. Probably could have done another season easy with them, but let's see if this gets centered here. Starting to warm up a bit, but it is windy. Okay, now we'll work these on. Do a finished torque on those when we're done. I just wanted to show you, I haven't had to use this yet, but this little socket is snap-on piece, and it basically, I'll show you here on the spark plug. So you got header clearance issues. This just slides over the spark plug, and then you get your wrench on it here, or you can use a ratchet. Makes really easy access if you can't get a socket, spark plug socket in there. Now the headers on this car are Sanderson headers. Now you're not going to be able to see that just by looking, but they are actually, I think, when they designed these, they are designed for AFR heads, and almost appears as though they actually designed these on the heads, because I haven't had to use this that socket on my Camaro. It's a different story. Just about every spark plug I have to use that socket. So it's a good little tool. It's not cheap. It's a 5/8. This one here, S872 4RHS, I think is the part number. Can't read it. My eyes aren't good. But anyhow, excellent tool to have. Saves a lot of time, a lot of grief, and a lot of swear words. So I'm going to get the other side here. We'll get the wheel off and finish up. We'll hook up the battery, and then I think this thing's ready to go. So catch up in just a few minutes here. Okay, I spoke a little too soon because the number one plug here is too close. I can't get a socket in there. So this is where I'm going to use this thing. So just give you an idea as to how that'll work. I'm going to use the ratcheting end here, and we just do that. There we go. That's all there is to it. Those that are interested, I don't know, you can see those springs. Those are Moroso drag springs. And I've got Competition Engineering drag shocks on the front. They're set at 90-10. On the rear, I've got drag rears on there, Morosos, and Competition Engineering shocks set at 50-50. So the car launches pretty good. I mean, it spins the tires, but the front end comes up pretty good, which is always fun. Anyhow, let's go. We'll finish off putting the spark plug in here. This is what I use when I'm installing plugs. It's just a rubber vacuum hose over the tip of the plug. You just, there we go, spin her on. Sometimes you can't get your hands in there. It makes it a little difficult. So this makes it quite easy, and you never have to worry about cross-threading the threads. Now, we will snug this one up. There we go. Boot on. Oop. Okay, get that off and boot on. There we go. Boot off. Now, let's see if I can get a socket in there. The answer is yes. So, well, I'm in here, I'm always checking stuff out. There's like an exhaust leak here, there. I'll snug them up. Okay. Okay, take this off. Plugs are done. Get this wheel on. And we'll burp this thing on. Get pretty close. So these are Mickey Thompson Sportsman tires, the unidirectional kind of, the flame kind of thing on the tread, whatever you want to call it. Once we get it on the ground, we'll give the wheels a torque, make sure everything's up to spec. So the proper way to torque a tire or a lug nut is to do your final torque turning the nut. If you torque it, got your wrench on it, and it clicks off without moving, that's too tight. It's over torqued, and that's how you break wheel studs. When you see heavy trucks losing their wheels, that's because when they jam them on, you know, you got a 1-inch impact driver, they slam the nuts on there, click them off, they're already tight, they're way too tight, and it doesn't take long, a few applications like that, and then the tires go, the lug nuts, the studs break off, and then you wind up losing wheels. That's how that happens, which is just total careless. Oop. So with that, I'm going to go the wrong way. Never get them tight that way. So I try not to get them too tight to begin with. You want to get the lugs on the rim where the cone is, so that the wheel's centered. So that's about as. So once you have that, then you can do your proper wheel torque. Okay, so we're done here. Next here is we're going to hook up the battery, and I think we're ready to spark this thing off. So come with me. I just got to grab a 1/2-inch wrench. Actually, I'll get one from down here because this one's closer. 1/2 inch, and so this is my battery setup. It's an actual 31 series battery, so it's a heavy truck battery. I'm in the heavy truck service industry, and I get these batteries cheaper than you would a car battery, if you can believe it. So it's I think it's a 750 coal, 950 coal crank out. Actually, don't mind having a little bit of weight on that wheel, on that tire, because it is traction limited. So let's see what we got here. Okay, so this is negative cable, and negative. So get that nut on there, and again, you see that I got a junction box here, which is what you use for trailer lighting and wiring and that kind of stuff. So I have that. I got my power and ground in here, and then I run like my electric fuel pump and other accessories out of here because I got an electric water pump. And fans and that kind of stuff. So I run it out of here to the front, and keeps it kind of clean. And then my fuel pump relay's right here. So let's see what we got. Let's see what we can find here. Okay, so I got all this. Lots of wires coming off of here. Actually, let's do this. Put the stud, the cable stud, big there. That's how it was. That's nice and clean. Washer, nut, and then we'll just. Oh, so this is actually 960. So. This now touch. There we go. Okay, so that's all hooked up. It's not very bright there, but there's my fuel tank. Other junk that I carry for car shows, cleaning and that type of stuff. Got full of balance here again, so I'll get rid of that. All right, I think we're ready to rock and roll here. I'm just gonna snug up my header bolts first and check my intake bolts too. With the cold winter, sometimes you get a little bit of you lose some torque there. I believe I got 3/8 head on this. Okay, so we'll just, I think they're going to be all right, but the thing has been on here a long time. Yeah. 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 See that one. Tight. 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 Sorry. Everything's tight. Okay. Header bolts. Let's see where we're at with these. Tight. Check a few here that I can get at. I think they're going to be all right. Okay. So now we're going to get the key here. What I got for fuel in here. Okay, and I got a quarter tank of fuel. All right, so I got my fuel pump, fan, and water pump. I'm going to leave fuel pump, or the fan and the water pump off. Fan is automatic, so I would just leave that. There's my gauges, so fuel pressure, volt, oil, water, and vacuum. So this one here, I key on with this volume. That's start button. So it's a tunnel ram. It is chilly. They're a little bit of a bear to get going. There we go. To me. So with the electric water pump, you can shut it off, let the engine warm up a little quicker. It'll take a few minutes. Shut off. It's getting a little stinky in the garage here, so we'll get the big door open and get some sound from over here. There. So you saw how most of the moves, I think a couple were a little on the tighter side, but that's how you want to torque your wheels. Like I said, if they don't turn, if the nut doesn't move, it's too tight. Too tight, it's broke. So very important. I did a buddy's put his summer tires on there on his truck there last year, and a 1/2-inch stud, as if it was torqued on there too many times and too tight, or not torqued, just jammed on with a gun, and just took it out. So anyhow, that'll do it for now. We are going to hit the road. I got to fuel up, and hopefully I got enough battery here. We can do a little bit of a road test, road drive. Okay, just fueled up. Another little roll through the gears here. Does all right for what it is. Got probably a 10-year-old engine in there. All right, I just got to get used to the clutch on this one, and all is good. So we'll catch up. Catch up later, and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.